Hello and welcome once again to the Cup Experience, our pre-race show covering all the details of the 36th America's Cup, and this is day number 6 of the Prada Cup Challenger Selection Series. We're into the semifinals. Hi, I'm Tucker Thompson, broadcasting here in the United States. I'm joined by my co-host Jack Griffin of thecupexperience.com, and he is in Switzerland late at night tonight, but the Pirelli coffee is keeping him up. And Jack, the question on everyone's mind going into these semifinals is, how would American Magic do? Would they be able to pull off a dramatic repair and get the boat back in the water? Well, they did. The new question, however, after losing the first two of a best of 4 semifinals, or first of 4 races, is can they turn their fortune around?
You know, they ran into a really tough and much improved Rossa team after coming out of a major repair. Tough assignment for them.
Yes, well, we're going to find out how they can turn things around, or whether Rossa can seal the deal. But first, we begin with the sponsor 60, as always. 60 seconds to thank those who make the Cup Experience possible. Beginning with Mount Gay Rum, the official rum of American Magic and the Sailor's Rum. Check out our new video with Mount Gay in Barbados, recorded on YouTube and Facebook, and then order your own Mount Gay at drizzly.com and send us your photos drinking Mount Gay, and we'll put you in the shows. We have some viewers at the end to share with you and having a good time watching the America's Cup. C-Deck adhesive foam decking, which will literally transform your deck. It did for mine, and it transformed American Magic's as well. We'd like to thank AkzoNobel, All Grip Fast Finishes. American Magic is finished with the All Grip Next Generation top coat called HDT, and clearly it is fast. Thanks to Robba and Birking Silver and their American Magic collection with cocktail tumblers, bottle coasters, and serving trays with the American Magic logo. It's beautiful silverware, as Jack knows, or you can customize it with anything you want on them. Ask Jack for more info or order them at americanmagic.cupexperience.com. And finally, thanks to Pirelli, the official coffee supplier of New York Yacht Club American Magic, the other Cup Experience with Pirelli Tops 100% Arabica Espresso and Pirelli coffee. It's keeping American Magic energized. You can find it on Amazon.com. Well, here we go. First, Jack, we have to start out with a congratulations to American Magic. They rolled the boat out of the shed one day early after an incredible effort to put the boat back together. What do you make of what the boat builders, the electricians, the engineers were able to pull off?
Nothing short of a miracle. I mean, I don't know how they did it. It was an amazing effort, and as the sign says, Patriot is back. She
was back, and I love the Band-Aid with all 3 of the competing teams, flags, country flags, and a thank you. It was probably one of the most incredible displays of sportsmanship to help one team get back on the water of any sport I think we've ever seen. So the good news, American Magic is back out on the water. They're facing Rossa. It's the first to win 4 in these semifinals. Will move on to face Ineos Team UK in the finals of the Prada Cup. Here's a look at how day number 1 went down.
Day 1 of the Prada Cup semi-final, a best-of-7 series, starting with 2 races. Today was about pressure. You could feel it around the dock and see it in the body language of both teams. This was a big day, especially for American Magic. Rebuilding their boat and systems had been a big ask. Rossa Prada Pirelli knew they had to up their game too. Was rugby legend Richie McCaw offering advice? The breeze was at the upper limits, adding to the pressure. The Italians had the upper hand from the start, leading at the first gate by 18 seconds. Their boat handling was smooth, communications calm, and their performance impressive. But American Magic was struggling. Despite holding on for 2 laps, losing control at a key moment while doing 53 knots simply extended the Italian lead and eventually secured their win.
How about the next one?
Rudders are always on the edge, I think, for any boat. We don't want big rudders, we want to go fast, but you sort of miss control at the top mark. And I think Jimmy did a fantastic job when he did that barroway. Was very shifty.
You know, the way it is, and we've got to just keep fighting hard. And, you know, the guys have done an amazing job just to get the boat back on the water, you know, given where we were, you know, last 10 days ago. And and we're just going to keep fighting all the way to the end.
Race 2 saw the breeze drop slightly, but the pattern of play remained. Luna Rossa gained the upper hand at the start and led to Gate 1. Another confident and poised performance until Gate 2. Rounding at 49 knots was a big ask. The foil couldn't maintain its grip and they skidded around the left-hand mark. The Americans caught up, but they couldn't stay in touch. Control problems were causing big issues. The distance between the two kept increasing until Luna Rossa took their second win of the day.
Here we go, plenty of ease. In the past, the boat is not been the fastest in the strong wind, but we knew that we had made some big improvements in performance. We knew it, we had it on the numbers, but now to see it on the water is a different feeling.
Repeat this dominant performance once more and Luna Rossa will be heading to the Prada Cup final. But with a weather forecast that looks set for an about turn, the pressure looks likely to be on once again.
Well, thank you, Matt Sheehan from America's Cup TV for wrapping things up. Jack, the first point is Luna Rossa. In yesterday's Cup Experience show, we spent a lot of time analyzing what wasn't working on board that boat, specifically their communication and how it led to a breakdown in tactics and maneuver. Clearly, they've turned things around.
Yeah, they've turned things around. The communication between Jimmy Spithill and Keko Bruni those communications are better. And they've added Pietro Sabello into the mix. He's their mainsail trimmer. He's the only guy on the boat who changes side to side, so he gets a good look around. He was giving more input. That seems to be working really well for them.
So clearly it made a difference. They not only won the first race, but again the second. Now let's shift gears and take a look at American Magic. We're going to get into the Ask Jack section. Now, this is a new section in our shows at cupexperience.com. You can log on and click on Ask Jack or send us a question in Facebook. Either way, the Ask Jack section is brought to you by Seahorse Magazine. And Jack, here's the question from our first viewer. It is about American Magic because it was very hard, if you're an American fan, to watch both races yesterday. To go from such a high after putting the boat together to the two losses. So this viewer asked, Dear Jack, I'm an avid and loyal fan of American Magic and produce an online show with you covering their progress throughout the 36 America's Cup. Recently, I found it very hard to watch as they endure loss after loss. In fact, they haven't won a race yet. Can you offer any therapeutic advice on how one might remain emotionally positive, personally and professionally, during our show? Thanks. Sincerely, your co-host. Jack, do you have any advice?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do, Tucker. I like my Pellini coffee, but I also like my Robin Birking silver tumbler, which I have filled with Mount Gay rum. Repeat as necessary.
I'm going to have to repeat a lot. I mean, I know we're kind of joking, but in all seriousness, Mason Sheen and I were sitting here after our show, as we do every night. We logged on to watch the races on NBC Gold. And you felt the electricity in the air, the energy for American Magic. And slowly, leg after leg, it just deflated. In fact, they lost after every single leg. And Luna Rossa gained leg after leg. And that's a bad sign, Jack. Something is going wrong. And I know in your next section, the real Ask Jack, you're going to tell us some of the reasons that led to their demise. Let's have a look. It's the Ask Jack section brought to you by Seahorse Magazine.
Today's Ask Jack is what is going on with American Magic. They came out and they struggled again. Let's watch what happens here. Here's Luna Rossa going around the gate. A little bit shaky. The conditions are really, really on the edge here. Puffy, they've got to bear away. They get around the mark safely. They went on to win the race. Now here's American Magic coming into the same gate. They come up, they get around. Watch the speed. They get up to 53.3 knots on this bear away. And now they're heading back down, drop the windward board, bring it back up, boom, plow the nose in, and now disaster. They've, as the commentator said, they parked the boat. Well, they parked the boat at 24 knots. I mean, these boats are so extreme. Boundary penalty. They went outside of the boundary. What are they doing? They're tacking around instead of bearing away. In these kind of conditions, in a boat this difficult to sail, that was the smart maneuver to make. Of course, they picked up a penalty. They finished their tack. Now they're headed back down in the correct direction. Luna Rossa's lead got up to 2,500 meters. What in the world is going on? Well, I'll tell you what I think is going on. Cut them a little bit of slack. These guys are test pilots, and these boats are prototypes. Okay, this is Ask Jack. Today, Jack is asking the questions. Who's this? That is 24-year-old Chuck Yeager on the Tuesday, the 14th of October, 1947, standing in front of his Bell X-1 rocket plane that he used to be the first person to break the sound barrier. What is this? That is the DH-108, D.H. de Havilland. Unfortunately, Jeffrey de Havilland took this plane to try to break the sound barrier, did a steep dive, the plane disintegrated, plane was destroyed, de Havilland was killed. Now, we also have test pilots in things that are driven by the wind and go across the water. What's this? That's Sail Rocket, but that's not Sail Rocket 2. Sail Rocket 1 didn't go as well.
If you can imagine, if Paul's coming down here at 40 or 50 knots, and he starts coming up into the breeze, he's got like zero time.
Watch the speed build. 30 knots, 40 knots, 52 knots, and
And it just kept going up, and even when it was up and like that, or still in the air, just going, bloody hell, I was just... Then it hit, and it was bloody hard on the head.
We've got test pilots and prototype boats out racing in the America's Cup right now. Their rudder has lost downforce, the stern goes up, the bow plows in, they went over. There's a couple of different modes of capsizing and taking off. These boats are tough to sail. A lot of people talking about the foil wings. Look at the foil wings on Emirates Team New Zealand. Anybody ever sit in an airplane, look out the window and see something that looks like this? What are those wingtips for? That is to avoid the vortices that come off of the ends of the wings. What goes on is, where's the high pressure? It's under the wing, whether it's high pressure from air under an airplane wing or high pressure from water underneath the wing of an AC-75. That high pressure can go off the trailing edge of the wing, can go off the tip of the wing. It goes off the tip of the wing and you don't have those wingtips, you get these vortices. Here's American Magic. Their wingtip actually is piercing the water surface here. We have test pilots in prototypes trying to fly these boats. Really difficult, and the surprises are not over. So if you've got any questions, shoot them to askjack@cupexperience.com. Just click the Ask Jack button.
I love it. Jack, I got to hand it to you. I know you worked hard on that one today. That was the coolest Ask Jack I've ever seen. I learned a lot there.
Well, it was fun to put together, but I'm serious. I mean, all of these guys in each of the teams, in all of the boats, these things are hard to sail and they're delicate. I mean, I'm sure that some of the problems on board American Magic were mechanical problems.
So
I'm also sure, we saw them, they dropped their windward foil when they started that bear away. Why would that go down? Did that go down on purpose? What happened right after that? Oh, they got it back up out of the water, plowed the nose in. These boats, they're sailing prototypes. They're beta test prototypes. Tough job for everybody. Other teams are going to have problems too.
Sorry, I thought that was a question, but it might have been rhetorical on your end there. But so the question I have for you is, based on what we saw and what's not working. Okay, we don't know the real idiosyncrasies of the technology and what's going on with the computer systems, electronics, and engineering. It's a big credit just the fact that they're back on the water. But at this stage of the game, without the capsize, Jack, this team wants to be at a much higher level where the details are taken care of. The boat should be in harmony. And yesterday it was anything but harmony. You heard Terry Hutchison in the press conference say they're going to have to analyze what's going wrong. He honestly said he didn't know yet what's gone wrong. They're working things out and putting the boat back in balance at a level that they should have been at months ago, right?
Yes, of course. But months ago, they should have already had 2 World Series under their belts, and they should have had more days of development time. And then in the heat of the battle, they had that capsize, had a major repair they had to do to the boat. That would rattle anybody's nerves. But guess what? There's a question of, is everything in the boat working properly now? Tough.
I think the simple layman's answer to your question is no. Everything's not working, obviously. Now, the next question is, Jack, they've had one night before we get back on the water today. Do you think that's enough time for them to sort out all of the problems that clearly they had on every leg of the race course yesterday?
Well, one of the problems they had was that probably that mainsail that they had up, that did not seem to be working for them. Today they're going to be in lighter air. They'll have a bigger mainsail up. They'll have a bigger jib up. They will have had another night to shake down what's going on, try to figure out what the problems were. They have a steep hill to climb. But they are mentally tough. They're really hard to rattle. And they've got a great team, a lot of resources. Let's see what happens today.
Jack, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I have been supporting and promoting this team for the past 2.5 years. It is my passion. I, like every other American sailor, want this team to win more than anything. But I don't think they are 100% mentally back in the game. I think they've been rattled after that capsize. And I think we saw it in a couple of the maneuvers yesterday. At one point, actually, our director, producer, Mason Sheen, picked up on the fact that they were going to do a tack bearaway, and then Dean bailed at the last second, did a bearaway. Now, to be fair, they probably debriefed that capsize and said, look, let's take the, if we don't have to risk it, we don't have to. But then, as you pointed out, the windward board goes down when the boat sped up. A lot of teams have been doing that to increase stability at the mark roundings. So that looked like, to me, putting a bit of the brake on, the handbrake, to slow things down. And then we had that tack jibe, which, as Terry said, at that point they knew they were behind. They were saving the battens. But Jack, is this a team that's now a little bit gun shy on pulling the trigger?
I don't see how you could avoid that. I mean, they're really solid, experienced guys in the afterguard there, but they haven't won a race yet. That's got to work on your brain, work on your mental aspect of the game, and they're struggling with some mechanical problems. Seriously, about that board going down at the windward mark, I haven't seen anybody do that at the windward mark. I've seen it at the leeward marks. Maybe, well, actually, no, that's not true. Luna Rossa has done that as well. Did it go down on purpose? Did it not? Was that a mechanical problem? Lots and lots of questions. They're going to get answered out on the race course today. That's when we're going to get the answers.
Well, another question that I've got, Jack, and I don't think we have the answer yet, at least I don't think the team does, is what is going on in the starts. Today I had a chance to go through every single start that American Magic has had in this competition. So let's take a look. And it's not great news, but it is a pattern. Race 1, round robin 1, American Magic, Ineos Team UK. There's the gun. Okay, not a bad start, but still a length and a half behind and not in the windward position. The right-hand side was favored, and Ineos starts to the right, gets the right, and capitalizes on a big wind shift. They cross the first mark ahead and then continue from there. Game over. Round robin 1, American Magic, this time against the Italians. They come crashing off of the foils, trying to get a port starboard penalty This is the result. No penalty on Luna Rossa, and they come off the foils. Then they can't even get the boat back to the start. But Jimmy Spithill was able to do that. He got his boat back on the foils and put his bow close to the line. Boom, there's the gun, Luna Rossa crossing the starting line. American Magic, you see that big white wake, that big right-hand turn. They turned too late to get back to the start. And even though they're in displacement mode, at least they could have crossed the line even, but they weren't able to. And then, of course, in the next race, back against the Brits, American Magic gets a pre-start penalty for entering too early. That's an unforced error. That should not happen at this level. Nobody forced them into that position. And to add insult to injury, they come off the foils. And even Ineos UK lets them go. They said, okay, you guys figure your stuff out. Then look at this. Port starboard, still like a sitting duck in the water. And fortunately, they were able to jibe around. Now, of course, their windward boat. And Ben goes flying around them. They're floundering in the water. 3, 2, 1. Bang, there goes Ben towards the line, leaving American Magic behind. It's frustrating to watch, but it is a bit of a pattern, getting to these starts late. So then we get into yesterday, semifinal, race 1 against the Italians. Jimmy Spithill does his textbook move, sets up to leeward, shuts out the windward boat, and there's the gun. Where's American Magic? Way behind, trailing every single leg. Next race, were we going to get to the line against the Italians even? No. There it is again, 4 to 5 lengths behind at the gun. Jimmy Spithill went for the line and pulled the trigger earlier, and American Magic didn't. The result, Luna Rossa wins again. So if you are in the debrief with Terry Hutchinson and the team, and Dean Barker is obviously in control of the boat, what are you going to say? Well, if I was the coach of the team, I'd say, look, Jimmy Spithill has a textbook pre-start approach to every one of these starts. If you watch them, he sets up on or above the starboard lay line at about 40 seconds to go and waits for you. And as you come in, he matches you and hooks you to leeward. If you accelerate, he accelerates. If you slow down, he slows down, and he shuts you out. So then the question obviously is, how do you counter that? Well, you do the same move to him that he's doing to you. Lead back earlier, particularly in today's lighter air. An earlier lead back is going to be strong. Then that's going to force the issue to the Italians. They're going to have to decide if they want to lead back even earlier and therefore slow down, or trail and risk being shut out, or at least get a start tight to leeward of them so you have an even chance at the race. Jack, despite the mechanical issues that they're having, I think this all comes back to the start.
Yeah, you're right. And I can't help it. I can't help with that. I mean, get the boat into the start box on time. Understand what the other team is going to be doing. You know what their playbook is. You've got a playbook. It's a bit of a mystery. If you had one bad start like that, it would be an embarrassment. When you have that many and you have a pattern like that, I don't have the solution. I mean, just, I guess it's wake up, get aggressive, and let's see a good start today. Come on, we need it, because you don't let Luna Rossa get the jump on you and expect that you're going to haul them in.
No, not
you
at this
better
level.
be there
of the
at
game.
the line at the start.
Right, and it's look, I have to be fair. I say it's basic, just time on distance, get the boat to the line. I know Terry has told us in the press conference and personally that sometimes there are issues before the start. In one case, there was a jib zipper that broke and they were late entering. So there are things, and yesterday it was a trouble with, as you pointed out, the systems and just maneuvering this boat. But Terry also knows that there's trouble in the starts. Here's what he had to say in yesterday's press conference.
Yeah, I think we have to just get away clean. If you spot a team as good as them, the distance that we did off the line, you'd expect them to beat you. So we have to get away even and get Patriot into a spot that she can do what she was designed to do. And it'll start with the analysis of where we ended up in some of the circles today. I think what Kiko said, everything is pre-planned, and the entire start box and the maneuvering that you do is basically calculated off of being at certain spots at certain times. And in the first race, we entered from port in about 25 knots of breeze, and it was a handful to just get the boat into the start box, but it put us out of our timing. and very quickly we opened the door and they just walked right through and took the opportunity presented. You'd have to say that we need to understand the mistakes that we made and not make them twice.
I think it's a pretty strong and fair point, and it's good advice from Terry Hutchinson. Someone else, Jack, who has some good advice for Dean Barker in these pre-starts in terms of how things can turn around. In fact, this is advice for the entire team. It's not over yet. And Jack, I think you're going to like this piece. You might recognize it.
I think the question is, imagine if these guys lost from here. What an upset that would be. I mean, they've almost got it in the bag. So that's my motivation. You know, that'd be one hell of a story. That'd be one hell of a comeback. And that's the kind of thing that I'd like to be a part of. I've been involved in some big fightbacks, you know, with some big challenges and facing a lot of adversity, and that'd be the kind of thing I'd love to be involved in. So I don't know, I speak on behalf of all of the teams. So that's our motivation going into the rest of this series. We feel we've got just as much chance to win this, and we're going to do everything we can.
Well, Jack, I love that piece. I found it on the internet today and then realized it was yours. You were there. You saw Jimmy make that statement. I was too, in that press conference. At the time, did you think he was crazy, full of it?
Everybody in the room thought he was crazy.
Right.
It was like, what drugs is this guy taking? And like it said, what was it, 12 days and 13 races later, they won the America's Cup. And that is the kind of attitude that American Magic needs. You know, it ain't over till it's over. And just keep on fighting, and let's get out there today. Got to win at least one race today to stay in the game, to stay alive. After that session, after that press conference where Jimmy said that, they lost the next two races again with Ben Ainsley as their new tactician. They lost the next two races. Race 6 and race 7, they lost. It wasn't until race 8 that they started to turn it around, but they turned it around. It ain't over till it's over.
You bring up one good point. American Magic can only afford one more loss. They have to win one today to stay on and keep winning more and rack up 4 against Luna Rossa. But Jimmy Spithill had to win 8 in a row, and he was down 9-1. And yet he did it. They won 8 races in a row. It's been called the biggest comeback in sports. Only the New England Patriots have disagreed with that statistic. Anyway, we have someone else, a special guest feature tonight. This one's coming from Hollywood. Actually, Columbia Pictures' Talladega Nights. We've got some advice for American Magic on their nickname. This comes from Cal Naughton Jr.
Keep it.
And Mr. Dennett told me
Yeah.
that it's my time now.
Oh, really?
That Shake and Bake is dead. And we just came up with a new nickname.
Oh, no, it's so good.
We got a new nickname, the Magic Man. Now you see me. Now you don't.
That was the stupidest nickname I've ever heard.
Is it, Ricky? Because I think you wish you thought of it.
All right, you got me. That's an awesome nickname.
What do you think, Jack? It's awesome. The Magic is awesome.
Hey, I believe in magic. I believe in miracles. Let's see what goes on here tonight.
I couldn't agree more, and I think every American watching tonight feels the same way. Go American Magic. If you can, put a team together for the first time after the New York Yacht Club's been out for 18 years. There's the Commodore right there, Commodore Culver cheering them on. If you can come through the adversity that they have, and obviously all the issues that have gone on with COVID, and get down to New Zealand. And then you can flip the boat, put it back together, and get back into this competition. Then they've got plenty of magic to beat Luna Rossa and move on in this competition. It's certainly what we hope. It's what all the fans hope that are watching around the world tonight, and certainly around the U.S. Now, speaking of fans, for the past couple shows, we've been saying, hey, send us your comments and your photos. We want to hear from you. Well, Scott Dixon, my good friend from Long Beach Yacht Club, is down in New Zealand with his buddy Garth McKillum. And, of course, they're enjoying Mount Gay rum with the logo appropriately facing in the right direction. So thanks, Scotty. I hope you're enjoying watching the America's Cup live. And this next video comes to us from Pensacola Yacht Club. This is American Magic's second home. Here's a look.
Tucker Thompson, we appreciate it. Pensacola Yacht Club is used to place America. Just announced that they're going to buy the 36 America's Cup. We were the winter training base. We couldn't be more proud of everybody on the team. Everybody from obviously Hap, Terry, Dino, all the way down to Revlin, Dusty. I mean, we got an amazing crew. PYC, we stand by it. Proud for it. Go American Magic!
All right. I love it. And there's lots of support like that from clubs all over the country. So send us your photos of support for the team. We want to hear from you. Thanks very much, Commodore Pace from Pensacola Yacht Club. Now, we have already seen the first two races yesterday, January 29th in New Zealand, 28th here in the U.S. Tonight, two more races. And we certainly hope we're going to go on to Sunday, January 31st in New Zealand, or the 30th here. It could go all the way to 7 races. First to win 4, Jack American Magic's down 2. And all credit to Luna Rossa, they're up 2. All they have to do is win 2 more, right? And they could seal the deal tonight.
They could seal the deal tonight. They need 2 more wins. American Magic can only afford to lose 1 more. Tall ask, but like I said, it ain't over till it's over.
So I've got to end the show with the tough question. I put you in the hot seat. I did this yesterday. What's your prediction tonight?
They're going to split. Each team's going to pick up 1 race, and we're going to be back out there again on Sunday, Auckland time. There's going to be a split tonight.
Good. I certainly hope so. Jack, I heard the breeze is going to be a little bit lighter today.
Yeah, it's something on the order of 9 to 14. They're going to be out on about race course just between Rangitoto Island and Takapuna Beach. They're going to be a little bit further north than they were up, which is sort of the race course B on the diagram here. Again, Ian Murray does a great job of running these races. That's where they're going to be out. Let's watch the action out there today.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to it. I know you are, and I know everybody watching across the United States and actually around the world who's a fan of American Magic and certainly of America's Cup racing. If you're in the U.S., some people have written in, where can you watch the America's Cup? Well, you can see it on a tape delay late at night on television on NBC Sportsnet. You could also download NBC Sports Gold. It is a subscription base, but that's how we're watching it, and you get some behind-the-scenes footage on board. And graphics to analyze the racing while you're watching the broadcast as well. So thank you, NBC and NBC Sports Gold. And that wraps up our show for tonight. Once again, we want to thank all of our sponsors for making it possible. The semifinals of the Prada Cup, day number 6, continues tonight. We're excited to see it. I know you guys are, and we certainly hope you've enjoyed another Cup experience. We'll be broadcasting by 8 p.m. every race night of the 36 America's Cup. We hope you'll join us and tell your friends. You can send us your comments and join our mailing list. Send us an email at tuckertlive@gmail.com. You can also send us photos of you enjoying Mount Gay rum or Pellini coffee. You can like and follow and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter @TuckerTLive, Instagram TuckerThompson1, or visit Jack's website, cupexperience.com, and click on Ask Jack to send us your questions. We're going to answer them in the show. Anyway, we'd like to thank you for joining us once again. For Jack Griffin in Switzerland late at night with his Pellini coffee, I'm Tucker Thompson here in the U.S. with my Mount Gay rum. Jack, let's end with our traditional toast. Go American Magic.
I'm on my Pellini coffee. Go American Magic.
I hope you stay up long enough to watch it. We certainly hope they win. Not that we're not Italian fans, But we want to see more competition, and we want American Magic to have a fighting shot at it. So once again, for Jack Griffin, up late at night in Switzerland, and Mason Sheen, our producer-director, I'm Tucker Thompson. Thanks again for watching the Cup Experience.